Yeah, hi team. So welcome to the session. So we are going to start that from today, right? The OIC. So Oracle Integration Cloud. So before I will go, anyone has any idea about like what is OIC? Any thoughts or like if you are familiar? Anyone? It's okay whether it
Prashant,
is,
Prashant,
yeah.
actually, I'm trying to record the session because I need to share it later. So I'm just sending you a request. You accept it, okay?
I already started the recording, so
You already
you
share.
will.
Okay, okay. Fine, not a problem. So you can share
Okay.
later. Okay.
Yes, you just share me that Gmail thing. The
Okay,
Yeah, I will
fine.
share there. Okay.
And other people are trying to join. Just 1 or 2 minutes. Give a break.
Yes, sure. We can take like 2 minutes break and then we'll start. Yeah. Okay.
Guys, please go on
Yeah.
mute. Ravi, it's important to check your whether you are on a mute or unmute, okay? To avoid the disturbances. And please rename who is admin and all. What is this, boss? You have to put your name. What is this iPhone? Please.
Yeah, sure. So hi team. So like we go with that OIC. So before I will go into that OIC, if anyone has any idea that what OIC is and like any thought or if you heard the term first time or like you know any basics about this one, any thoughts, it's okay. Whether it's correct or wrong, there's no issue in that one. Anyone?
Oracle Integration Cloud.
Yes. So what it is, right? Any thoughts like what it is OIC or Oracle Integration Cloud or what it does? Not an issue. So let me share my screen. Yeah. So what is OIC, right? So OIC, the official definition, right? What we have is like, so first of all, right, what is the full form, right? So the full form is like Oracle Integration Cloud, right? And what it is, the Oracle Integration Cloud cloud service is a complete, secure but lightweight integration solution that enables you to connect your application in the cloud, right? So this is the definition that okay, it is a lightweight service which will enable us to connect between two systems, right? But what it is, right? So in today's world, right, we are living in the world where the data will communicate from one system to another, right? So when the data will communicate from one device to another, right, or from one system to another, right, how that will go and do, right? So for example, if you take that example that okay, your bank, right? So your data is there with the bank, right? But if you see right in today's world, right, you like you go to the any banking application, like for example, Phone Pay or Google Pay, right? You will go and you will check the balance there, right? So you will able to see the balance, right? But you know, right, you have not your account is not with the Phone Pay or with the Google Pay, right? So how they will able to get your information, right? So it means like bank is having one server, right? Or one system. Then Phone Pay is having one system, right? So the data will communicate between both the systems. So we have given that access that okay, yes, I I will have the account in the Phone Pay and Phone Pay can access my data from the bank, right? So we have given those things, but like how those two systems communicate, right? So the data will transfer from one system to another, right? So for that one, right, we need that OIC, right? That okay, whenever the data will transfer from one point to another point, right? So that time, right, OIC will comes in the picture. So with the help of OIC, right, we can go and do this easily. Okay. Before OIC, how it was happening, and is only OIC is only the solution? No, there are other tools or other services also. With the help of that one, we can do it. But those are kind of like complicated. If you want, like suppose you want to send one file from one place to another place, right? We can write our custom code in any programming language, and we can do it. But what will happen, right? It's kind of we have to write each and everything, right? We have to write all the codes and everything, right? So it is going to be a very complicated application, right? So what Oracle came, right? Oracle came with the one framework. So this is a low code framework, right? OIC, Oracle Integration Cloud Service is a low code framework. So in that one, right, what will happen? So with the help of like in this one, right, all the components and everything are there. So behind the scene, right, all the codes are there. What we have to do, right, we just have to come, we have to use the existing components, right? So some of the components are available in the OIC. We can go and use those things. And with the help of that one, right, we can go and communicate between two devices, right? So if you see, right, the name, now you will get some idea that OIC is a complete, secure, but lightweight integration solution that enables you to connect your application in the cloud, right? It means whatever the two applications are there, right? Two system, right? So they will able to communicate with the help of OIC, right? So OIC is nothing but a middleware, right? It is like in between it will come, right? So suppose you wanted to communicate bank and phone pay, right? So what will happen, right? With the help of OIC, right? So bank like phone pay will send the request to the bank, right? So that request will go through the bank OIC, right? Then from the bank we will get the response, and that we will go and send it here, right? So that is how, right? So the OIC is the middleware which will which will help to communicate two devices, right? It simplifies connectivity between your applications and can connect both your applications that live on the cloud and your application that is still on the live on premises, right? Now, whether all the applications are there on the cloud, right? Whether all the systems, right, are there on the cloud? No, right? There is a possibility, right? Something can be on the legacy system, right, or on premise, right? So, for example, right, any bank, right? One bank is not on the cloud, right? So they are still using the in-house servers. Can we go and communicate with them? Yes. So it will give us all that options, right? You can communicate with the cloud applications. If both applications are there on the cloud, right? You can go and communicate. If one application is there on the cloud, you can, and another is on the on-premise, you can go and communicate. If both are there on the on-premise, you can go and communicate, right? So there is no restriction or constraint that okay, like only cloud applications can connect it. You can connect between anything. So earlier to OIC, right? Oracle used to have it like SOA, service oriented architecture, but that was a legacy, right? In that one, right, with the help of Java and all, right, we need to write some code. So what Oracle has done, right, Oracle has upgraded that to the OIC. So OIC is a cloud solution of that one. So if someone will say that okay, SOA, right, so you can just say that okay, OIC is the cloud version of the SOA. So what was the SOA? Service oriented architecture, right? So that will also use to do the same thing, that okay, you can take the data and you can send the data, right? And same thing is we are doing into the voice, right? We will take the data, and now okay, one is like two devices will communicate, two systems. Only we will do that only for the transfer we need that voice, no, right? Suppose in between, right, if we have to put some logic, right, we have to do the data enrichment, we have to modify something, right? So we can go and do the in the voice. So all the logical things, right, we can go and do. So for example, right, one more scenario will take, right, that okay, you will get the salary, right? So your employer will give you the salary, right? But what will happen, right? Whatever the salary will be there, right? So whole salary you will not get, right? So what will happen in that case, right? You will get some amount, right? Some will be deducted as a tax. Some will go to the insurance department, right? Some will go for the PF department, right? So all those things if you need to do, right? So what will happen, right? And who is paying your salary, right? Bank is paying your salary, right? So employer is just like employer will give you the information, right? That okay, he is a peer, right? But actual salary will come from the bank, right? So what will happen, right? The employer, right? So suppose you are working for company ABC, right? So that company ABC, right? They will say that okay, for person A, how 10,000 rupees is the salary, right? So now what will happen, right? That salary will come, right? Now we wanted to do some calculations into that one, right? To check that in hand, right? Like what is the amount he will get, right? So for example, 10% will go to the income tax department, right? Then 10% will go to the PF department, 10% will go to the insurance department, right? Then what will happen, right? The calculation, right? So all these calculations will happen that okay, 70%, right? So 70% information will go to the bank, right? So what will happen, right? All these different values will go to the bank. Then what will happen from the bank, right? 70% salary will come into your account, 10% will go to the insurance department, 10% will go to the income tax department, 10% will go to, right? So all those things, right? Earlier, right, what we used to do, right? Earlier, all these things used to be manual, right? Now what we do, right? All this process, right? We can go and automate, right? So what will happen, right? On every month, right? Like suppose we need salary, right, every month, right? So what will happen on 25th, right? We will start this process. So what will happen? This process will go and start, and it will start doing all this calculation for each employee, and it will send that information, right? So that is what we like. So this is just one scenario what we have. So I hope you got clear something in that one, right? Any into this one, right? Like any questions or anything? Okay. So if you see, right, if you go with this diagram, right, let me just make it full screen. So if you see right here, some applications are there on the on-premise, some applications are there on the cloud, right? So the some applications which are on the cloud, right? So they are on the Oracle cloud. Then some are on the different system, right? Like Salesforce or AWS, right? Google. So it can go and communicate OIC, right? So with the help of IC, right, you can communicate between different cloud providers. You can connect with between OIC and on-premise. You can go and communicate with the any application, right? So this is what we have, that okay, OIC will give us that option. Now we can see that okay, we are doing so many things, right? Do we need to write the code from the scratch? No. The components are available. So OIC is considered as a low code programming language, right? In this one, right, what will happen? We don't need to write all the codes. We just have to use. So at the end, right, it is kind of a flow chart, right? One flow chart will become, and in that only, right, from one point to another point, right, the data will go, and there we can go and modify anything. So that is like the OIC and what OIC it is. So these are the integration components. So whenever we create any integration, right, what will we need to do, right? So all these things will come in the picture. So if you see in this one, right, one system is there, right? And two system and third system, right? So three systems are there which are going to communicate. So what all things we need, right? We need connections. So if I wanted to communicate with this one, we need one connection. If I wanted to communicate with this one, I need one connection. If I wanted to communicate with this one, I need one connection. And these connections internally will use the adapters. So all these terms we'll go and see. Don't worry that okay, what is connection and adapter? When we do the hands-on, right? So that time you will get to know all these things. But from the high level, right, the whole program, right, will look like this one. So we'll have source connection, we'll have the target connections, and connections will be implemented with the help of adapter. And in between, right, on any logic we wanted to do, right, we can go and write the logic with the help of designer portal. So in this designer portal, right, we will bring or we will create a flowchart kind of thing. Then once our integration is running, right, can we go and monitor also, right? Yes, we can go and monitor also. Because like one process is going on, right, whether that is completed, whether that is not completed, or if any error happening, right? So what we do, right, we can go and make them, or we can go and see that information, that okay, what is happening with that one, right? It is into the error state, it is completed or not, right? So those things we can go and use with the help of monitor console. So this is a life integration development life cycle. So if we wanted to make any application, right, or if we wanted to make any solution, what all things we need, right? We need to do, first we need to define a connection, right? So what is a connection between? So what is the source system? What is the target system? So we need to define those things first. So that okay, right? I should know, right? From here, the information will come and it will go to here. So what is my starting point and what is my ending point? So those things we will go and define here. Then we will go and create an integration. And with that integration, right, we'll use internally these connections. Then we will go and modify the logic. So the scenario, right? Like we get the 10,000 salary, then we will do 7,000 for the in-hand salary, 10,000 thousand rupees will go for the income tax, 1,000 rupees will go for the PF department, 1,000. So all those calculations we do. Once our code is complete, we will do the activate. And once it is activated, we can go and run. So once we run, right, after that one, what we can do, we can go and monitor whether that is completed or not completed. So this is the whole life cycle. Once we activated, if we have to make any code changes after that one, right? What we do, we can go and deactivate, and then we can go and make changes. Then we can do the activate again, and we can go and create again. So this is how the whole development life cycle will work for the OIC. So these use cases. So we'll go and see this tomorrow, like in the further classes. First, we'll go and see the demo that okay, what we can do. So this is that OIC instance, what we have. So when you log in to the application, what will happen, right? This kind of application you will come. So in the Oracle Cloud account, we can go, we can create that OIC, and this is what we will get. So the URL will be there. You can go and log in with the credentials. So the credentials will be shared with you. So this is that OIC instance. And once you log in, this is the home page where we will land up. So in this one, what we can do, right? What all things we can do. So this is the home page of the integration. In this one, we are going to write all our code and everything. So first of all, this is the home page. So in the home page, right, it will go and show here that information. So let me go and show you some existing so that okay how it will look like. Let me go to the some integration here. So for example, if I will come to this one, so if you see, this is how that whole thing will come, right? As I told, right, that okay, it is going to be a flow chart kind of thing, right? So if you see, right, this is a flow chart. It will come like this one. It will have some values. It will do some activity. Then it will do the next activity. Then if you see here, we are doing the switch condition. If else conditions we are doing, then we are doing the looping. So all those the programming concepts what we have, we can go and use everything. So here what we need to do, right? We don't need to write code for this one, right? That okay, what we need to do? We just have to configure these things. So these are some actions what we have, and we can go and use those actions, and we can go and achieve that one. So this is how the whole flow will come. Let me just minimize this one. So if you see, this is the whole code. I mean, this one, right? We don't need to write any coding. What we need to do, we need to just design the flow. That okay, what it will happen, right? So it will go to the step one, step two, step three, step four, and we can go and configure. So this is how that at the end when we create the integration, right? This is how it will look like. So what we do now, and these are the major like all the components which will make that our integration to work. So we'll go in depth of each and everything. So what we do right now, we'll create a very simple application. So whenever we learn any programming language, right, what we used to do, we, we will create the one program, right? Hello world program. So that okay, we can go and learn what it will do, right? How we can go and make changes. So we will go and create a hello world program. So we can come to the connection. So if you see my this one, development life cycle. So what is the first thing we need to do? We need to define the correct connection. That okay, what is the starting point? So we can come here, we can define the connection. I will explain what connection is and how it will work. So all those things I will go and define. But like as is today is our first session, right? So what we do, we just will see that one demo that okay, how that whole thing will work. So we can come here and we will create a REST adapter. REST. And what I will do, right? I will say, so all my integration, I will start with PD underscore, I will say REST trigger, or we can say we will start with, everyone will go and start with B1 only. We'll start with B01 underscore OIC. So I will use this alias as B01 underscore OIC. When you will create, right, what you can do, you can go and use instead of OIC, you can go and use your initials. So that okay, you will not make the code changes to the others one. REST trigger connection. So this is going to be the trigger only, and we can say create. So this we are creating connection to start our integration. So we need to define. So we can say that okay, basic authentication will work, and we can say test and save. Now we can come here. So we have created a connection, right? So what we done, we have created the starting point. So with the help of this one, we can go and start our integration. So we can come here. We can say create application, and I will again here use B01 underscore OIC. Hello world integration 01. So hello world I am creating. I will put into this my package. So what is package? Package is kind of a grouping of the integration. So when we do the migration from one environment to another, so that time the package will help being the helpful. So we'll go and create here our one. So either you can go and use the existing one, or you can go and create. So if you give here new name, what will happen? The package will be created. If you go and use anything, right? So you can go and use the existing one. So we'll create B01 and I will say create. So we came to the designer portal. So if you see that other integration which we see, right? So in that one, what it was, right? It was a big flowchart kind of thing. So we will come to that point towards the end of the session. But like we will start with very basic that okay, how we can do. Then once we know the basic, right? What we do, we can go and combine multiple steps and we can go and achieve that one. So what we do, we need to put the starting point. So whatever the connection we have done, right? So that we'll go and use. So this is the trigger connection which we have used. So we can say trigger connection. Then here I will say what this point it is. So I will say start. You can go and give any name. So this trigger and everything I will explain in the coming classes as we go. So before to that one, we'll see what is rest, what is soap. So all those things we'll see. Then what we need to do, we need to give the endpoint here. So we'll say slash start. It is of the get type. So we need that output. So we'll go and define the output here. That okay, we need a output. Then we can say continue. Then what is the output it will look like? So here we can go and define our output message. That okay, our output looks like should be JSON format. So we can say here message should come. So we have just provided the template here that okay, in the message some message should come. So we have defined how our output will look like. So we will go and configure the response part. We can say continue and we can come to the finish. So once this do right, what will happen? So the actions got created. So start activity is there, then it will do some activity here, and from then at the end, it will return that output. So we can go and make the save. So if you see, it is in the draft version. So whenever you create any integration, it will start with the draft version. So we can go and do the save here. Now, if you see, we are getting one error. So whatever the integration error will happen, so that error will come here. So whenever you create any integration, by default, one error will come. Why? Because to define the business identifier. It means whatever integration we create for the tracking purpose, we need to define one primary key kind of thing. So for that one, the error will come. So we can if you see right, you can go and see the error. So if one error will show. It can be any big, if you have your integration is having more error, so the whole list it will go and show here. So in the error type, it will show the errors. If suppose your integration having some warnings, it means that is not any error. Your integration can work with that one, but there is a possibility that output will not be correct. So those warning things will come here. So we can come here and we can go and define the business identifier. So as of now, we don't have any variables or input parameters. So we can go and use a method only as a business identifier. So we can say that, okay, we need the method as the business identifier. We can go and do the save. Once your integration is error free, if you see there is no error, then what will happen? It will go and change into the configured state. It means it is in the testing state. Now, if you wanted to test, right, we can go and test it out. But our integration is not yet complete, right? We wanted to show the hello world. So we have not written that logic anywhere. So what will happen? This is the mapper. So in this mapper, right, we can come and we can go and do. So what is this mapper? Mapper is kind of the place where we can go and do the mapping. We can go and write the logic. So our output is this one variable, message variable. So I can come into this one and I can go and hard code, create target node, and I will go and put the message here that okay, hello world. So I will write here, hello world. I can go and validate. So if it is a valid, right, it will give that this one. For example, I missed this single code, right? And now this is not a valid expression. If I will go and do the validate, I will get that error. So expression is no unexpected. It means whenever we do any step, so at that point of time, the validations will happen. So there will be nothing code that okay, at the end you will get all the issues, any syntax issues or anything, right? So those things you can go and get at that point of time only. So we can go and fix. So exclamation mark also I will put and this one. So this is that message I wanted to see. hello world. Now we can go and validate. Then we can come back here and we can do the save. So this is our simple hello world program got completed. Now if you see it is in the configured state, it means I can go and do. So if I will go to the flowchart again, if you see, I have created the integration. I have created the connection. I have created the integration map data, right? I have done the mapping also. It means I have written that hello world code and all, right? So in this case, it is a hello world only. But in other case, if it is a complex logic, we can go and put that complex logic. Now, what is the next one? We need to activate the integration. So we can come here and we can go and activate. So this is our integration. So we can come here. So this is our integration, it will show. So if you see here, it is in the configured. So if you see here, it will go and show this message, activate button. So we can say activate here. Now we can go and put the debug here and we can say activate. Now we can go and refresh. So if you see activation in progress, now it is in the active state. So once it is in the active state, now we can go and test that integration, or we can go and run this integration. So we can come here and then here we will get the run button. We can come here. So what will happen? Now we will go and land up to the testing page. So this is the testing page of the integration. So we can come here. So we have not given any parameters, anything. So now I will go and click into the run. So if you see my body, right, I am getting that output as message hello world. So this is my output. So this is how we can go and write the simple integration. Now if I will come here, right, we have activated. Now we wanted to monitor, right? So monitor is this one. So it means like whatever the integration we have created, what the flow it is happening. So if you click into this instance ID, it will go and show you the diagram along with the things. So if you see, first it got started from here, then it came here, and then it got written here. In the activity stream, you can go and see that all those things that, okay, at this step, what is happening? Then in the next step, what it is happening? In the next step, what is happening? So flow wise, right, it will go and show you all the log messages and everything. So you can go and monitor your integration that, okay, what it is happening. So this is how you can go and create a very simple hello world program. So in and the other applications, for example, Java, Python, when you do, right? So hello world is like how we can write. In the OIC, this is how we can go and write a hello world program. Any questions in this one if anyone has?
Yeah, basically integration means the connection between the application via
Right.
cloud. Am I right?
Yes.
So in this
So
hello world,
between two applications.
between two applications, right?
Yes. Right.
Yeah. Then whatever it may be the application, it may be EBS, it may be a other kind of maybe
It
third
can be
party.
anything. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
in the cloud, those will be there. We are going to connect using some kind of integration part. Maybe XYZ is the integration. Okay.
Correct.
And here you have created this Hello World program, right?
All right.
Where is the integration here? Integration means it's a connection, just like a plug,
Yeah.
right?
So yeah, right. So now integration is like it will transfer the information. So in this case, right, we don't have the target system, but who is the target here? The target is the end user. If you see the output we are able to see. So it means in this case, we are the target here. So it means
Oh,
integration got started. So OIC is the source system and we are the target. Now, this we are running inside here, correct? For example, this integration, right? Someone wants to run from outside. So they can go and run from outside. If you see, if you come to the endpoint, if I wanted
so
to call this hello world, right?
yeah,
So
this
what I do,
integration
I
we are sending
can
the
go and
message
correct. So in this case, we are just sending the message from OIC to the target. Now the
to the
target
target.
could be anything.
Yeah.
Whichever system will call this as REST API, so they will become the target in this case.
Okay, so those
Okay.
people will get, I mean, those application will get this Hello World some message. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, right. So this is the
Right.
scenario like the bank balance one. So it means like
Yes.
in the phone pay, when you go to the bank balance, right? Show my balance. So what will happen? The request will go to the bank. So when I am clicking into this run button, what I am doing, I am sending that, okay, the request to the OIC. Then OIC will give the output. So when you click into the check balance, what will happen? The request will go from PhonePe to the bank. Then bank will send the information and it will go and show you into your screen. So that is a
Oh,
system communication. So here what we are doing, we are when you click into this one, we are sending the request to the OIC that okay, give us the output. Now in this scenario, we just have written hello world.
yes,
So
yes.
we are
Got it.
getting the hello world. But suppose if you
Thank
have written some logic, or for example, in this only, right, you have created some in between also target system, right? For example, you wanted to show the information also, but you wanted to make some changes in the database also. So what will happen? Once you click into this one, you will send some parameter so that will go into the database. Then you will get see that output also.
Yeah, yeah. Got
Right?
the point. Understood. Yeah. Thank you.
Now just to make this more right. So in this one, we are getting the hello world always. So what we'll do, we'll go and make changes into this integration and we'll make this as a dynamic. Correct? So what in the dynamic? It means I wanted to send the name and then I should get the message that okay, that name along with that one. So I can go and create a new integration or I can make a copy of this integration and I can go and modify on top of that one. So we can come here and what we do, right? We can go and do the clone. So what the clone it means, it is a kind of a copy. So when you can go clone, so for example, you have written some piece of code. Now you some new requirement came, so you will go and write the logic for that one. So in that case, right, what will happen? We know, right, that okay, we have to modify something. So 50% of the code we have to use as it is, 50% will go and modify. So instead of writing from scratch, we can go and make a clone. So here we can say clone. So what I'm doing, I'm creating a second integration. I can go and change the name here and what name I can go and provide. For example, I can make a greeting application I'm doing. So I'm saying greeting application. I will come, I will put this into our package B01. So B01 is already there. So we'll not create a new and we'll go and put into this one clone. So if you see 01 integration was there, 02 integration, one more integration got created. Now we can come here and we will go and modify some things in. So as of now, in the start point, right, we don't have any request. So we'll say that, okay, we will accept some request from the end user also. So we can come here and this trigger part in this one, we can come here and we can say that, okay, we need the parameter also. So review parameter. So we say we will need the parameter. Or for example, we can go and configure this into the post method. So let me go and convert into the post and we say we will need a request payload. We can go and click into continue and then we can go and define here input parameter that okay, how what are our input will look like. So for example, in the input, we will go and pass the name. So we'll go and pass the name. So we'll say ABC. We can go and click into continue, continue and finish. So response is going to be same. We are not modifying the response. What we did, right? We just added the request also that, okay, we need some input from the payload also. Now we can just go and save. It is in the configured state. Now what we do, right? We can come here and now we wanted to modify. So till now, right? What was the one? Our code was hard coded. If you see right here, what we have, the code is hard coded hello world. But now I don't need to hard code in the if you see in the source. So source in the mapper, what will happen? 2 points will be there. One is the target system and one is the source. So if I will go back, right? So if I'm putting the mapper for this one, so whatever the thing is there before to this one, right? What will happen? All those will become the source for this one. And for whichever I'm creating this one, that will become the target. So before to this one, right? As of now, we just have a trigger only. So we can come here. So in this internally, if you see target is this one and the source is our all the parameters and everything. So we can come here, we can go to the message, we can go to the request parameter wrapper. And if you see the name, whatever we do, right? So that name will come into this one. Now we can go and configure here. And instead of this hello message, I wanted to some greeting message. But in the greeting message, my name, this name should be there. So what we'll do, right? We will go and use a function. We will go and use a concat function. So concat is a string function which we can go and use. So where all these functions will be there. So these functions will be available here. We'll go and explain these things. I will not go in detail as of now. Otherwise, you will just confuse yourself. So in this one, we need to have two parameters, like any number of parameters we can have. So what we need to do, first we wanted to show, we'll write hello. Then I wanted to print the name. So whatever the name we will enter, so that name I wanted to print. So I can just drag and drop that name here. Then I can go and put here, after this one, what message we wanted to put. So we'll say hello. Then we can say, have a great, nice day. So this is the message I wanted to show. We can go and validate. So once you do validate, in this one, we are using the source. So if you see, it will go and define the connection that, okay, we are using some value and we are putting here. Now we can go and do the validate here. So validation is successful. Now we can come back again here and we can go and do the save. So it is in the configured state. Now what we do, we can come back again and we wanted to test it out. So it is in the configured state. So when it is in the configured state, that time only this button will come. If suppose it is in the draft status, this will not come. So we can go and make the activate and refresh. Now we can go and run this one. So in this one, what will come, right? If you see in the body, we will have the name. It means we can go and enter here name. So for by default, whatever name we have configured, that will come. So for example, I will write here Sam. I can go and run. So what I will do, right? If you see, hello Sam, have a nice day. I can go and change this parameter, John. I can go and click into run. We'll get hello John, have a nice day. It means whatever input we are passing, so it will go and take that one and then it will go and send us output. It means this is how we can go and write the simple. In real world, there is no integration is going to be like this one. That okay, send some input and get that output. No. In the real world, when you create integration, so you have to communicate with some system. You will send some parameter, then that parameter will go and check. It will bring the value from some system, maybe from database, maybe from EBS. It will take the data, or it will go and take the data from the Fusion. It will bring those information, then it will go and send to some system. You can go and place the data over the FTP file, or you can go and send over email. So all those kind of thing it will do. This is a very simple thing, just to show that okay, how the code will be written, how your simple integration will write. So I hope you got it something good from this one. There's a power cut. Just give me 1 second. Yeah, team. So any questions into this application, rating application or the Hello World program? So we will wrap up the session today here only. Now we'll just go and take the questions. Still don't confuse yourself that okay, how it will be. We are going to see each and everything in detail. So before I will go, I will explain what are the different components, what all these things, what is the navigation menus and everything I will go and explain. This is our first day. So just I wanted to give you the let walk through that okay, how we can go and create integrations, how that end output will look like, and how it is easy to make the code changes, to make the codes create application. In this one, did I have written any code? No, right? But we are able to achieve that one. So it means it is a low code platform. So in the low code platform, we don't need to write the all the code. Things will be there. We just have to go and use the things. So we just know the components. What are those components? How we can go and use those